Now, there is an emphasis on the prophetic. There is an emphasis on the prophetic. I will briefly start from there, and then I will go to talk on the gift of prophecy. Because when you talk about prophecy, prophecy has to deal with what? What does prophecy deal with? Anybody can help us? That is the purpose. But what is the source? What is the act of prophecy itself? An inspiration of the Holy Ghost. An enlightenment from heaven to bring what God is saying to the spheres of men. Do you understand now? To bring what God is saying to the sphere of men. To take of what is in the heavenly and bring it to the earth. So I will start from the eagle, the vision of the eagle. Then from there, now I requested specifically for men. I could not finish my sermon that day. I didn't know it would be that long. I requested specifically for men to be there because it's a sermon you must hear. It's something that must be a working power in the life of a man. The vision of the eagle. And then from the vision of the eagle, I'll move into the prophetic. Do you understand now? Because there are two kinds of visions. There is the vision you need for earthly relevance. There is the vision you need for divine sustenance. Do you get what I'm saying now? There is the vision you need for earthly relevance. There is the vision you need for divine sustenance. The kind of vision you need for divine sustenance comes from the prophetic. Are you getting my point now? The one you need for divine sustenance, that is your spiritual growth, your function in destiny, and all of those things. You need the prophetic. But there's a kind of vision. That is the eagle kind of vision. Do you get now? The eagle kind of vision that you need for earthly relevance. That is the eagle kind of vision. So we have the prophetic kind of vision and we have the eagle kind of vision. So I'll first talk about the eagle kind of vision, then we'll talk about the prophetic. We'll talk about the prophetic. The eagle kind of vision usually helps you to capture. Helps you to what? Capture. Helps you to capture. Job 39, 27 and 29. Does the eagle mount up to fly at thy command? It says, from there he looks at his prey, and his eyes behold afar off. His eyes behold afar off. So that is one peculiar thing about the eagle. The eagle has the ability to see very far off. And the question I should ask you is this: how many of you can see far off? How many of you can see afar? If I ask you now, what do you see about yourself 15 years time? Can you give me a vivid picture of how your life will look like in 15 years time? Anybody here, you can give me a vivid picture of how your life will look like 15 years time? You see, that's the problem with many of us. You cannot sit down and give us a vivid picture of even how your life will look in 2 years time. All you can tell us is, I'm currently in school, in 2 years time I'm going to graduate. But that is not how your life will look like. Nobody's life looks like a graduate. How does the life of a graduate look? There's nothing called the life of a graduate. Are you getting my point now? So whether you have graduated or not, there is a way your life should look like. I don't know if you get my point. And listen, I want to charge you today. You must have a vision for your life. I've always said that thing. You must have a vision for your life. You must be able to paint a vivid picture of how your life will look like in 5 years' time. Listen, in 5 years' time, your life may not look exactly like the picture you are painting, but at least it should look close to it. Are you getting my point now? But now you should be able to give us a picture. You should not just go through life as if, well, anything comes, anything goes. I don't know if you get my point here. If you see people that are great, excuse me, they did not get there by accident. Those that got there by accident, life corrected them. You know, if you become great by accident, life itself will correct you. I've always said that. If you become great by accident, life will correct you by itself. Have you seen those that make quick money before? Do they sustain the money? All the Yahoo guys, where are they? All the Yahoo guys that made big money 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where are they today? Why are we not hearing their names? Because anything you get by accident, life will correct you. I don't know if you get my point now. If you marry a good husband by accident, life will correct you. If you marry a good wife by accident, life is going to correct you. If you got the MD of a company by accident, life will correct you. If you are ordained as a pastor by accident, life will show you your true level. I don't know if you are getting my point here. So you cannot run through life doing things by accident. Can you see afar off? Can you sit down and say, listen, in 5 years' time, I would have built 2 houses. In 5 years' time, I'll be living in so place. I'll have my wife and I'll have 2 children. In 5 years' time, can you give us a vivid picture of how you have patterned your life to look like in 5 years' time? In 5 years' time, I'll have 3 companies. In 5 years' time, I must have traveled 5 countries to preach the gospel. I don't know if you get my point now. Can you give us a vivid picture of how your life will look like in 5 years' time? If you cannot, then you don't have the vision of an eagle. Even Bible says that man proposed, but God does what? Disposes. It didn't say man do not propose. Man will always propose. So if you are not proposing anything, you have lost a major substance of what it means to be a man. I don't know if you get my point now. I know Bible did not clearly put it as man proposed, but God disposed. Because some people will be waiting. Where is that one in the Bible? Bible says that there are many thoughts in the heart of a man. There are many counsels in the hearts of a man. But ultimately, it is the will of God that stands. But if as a man, there is nothing on your heart, there is nothing you are looking forward to, no vision, nothing, you have captured nothing, then what are you doing with your life? Let me ask you, you are studying medicine, will you practice medicine? So in 5 years' time, will you be a doctor? What will you be doing as a doctor in 5 years' time? Have you told yourself what you will be doing? Listen, now, okay, in 5 years' time, I must have found the cure to HIV. Now you have a vision for your life. Now you can see afar. Now there's something you are working towards. I don't know if I'm getting across to someone. You see, people that are great, they captured something. Thomas Edison wanted to solve the issue of electricity. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life. And he got to the job and began. He failed many times, but today are we not singing his name? Oh, we invented electricity. Who? Someone said this. These people, he did not stumble upon it by mistake. He did not do so by going to seminars and joining laboratories like some of you just do around. Just like we attend this seminar, we earn my salary. Listen, people that are great don't live life that way. God's, I see that's the way some people want to live their lives, and by God's grace, I will not allow you. Amen. You did not say amen. Amen. I said by God's grace, I will not allow you. Amen. Except you are not joined to this calling. You can't live life that way. You just finish school, then go and get a job. You are making cool money, salary, have a good family, and that is not life. Just Friday, I was speaking with somebody. I said, listen, what do you want to become in life? I said, well, I'm in school, I'm studying. I said, no, I'm not asking you what you are studying. What do you want to become in life? And well, by the time I grow, I'll become, what exactly do you want to be in life? Say, at the end of the day, it looks like what you want for your life is, you just want a good life. You want a profession that will fetch you money, have a stable family, live a happy life, that is not how to live life, I tell you. All the people that have lived life that way, where have you found them today? If you want to be relevant on earth, you cannot afford to live life that way. I don't know if you are getting my point now. This is not to insult anybody. I'm talking about my own parents too. Your parents, my parents, live life that way. Who knows their name? Oh no, they make good money, they can send you abroad, but who knows them? Apart from the workplace that they are, where they are working, they are in fact their office. If your father works in the health sector, who knows him in the health sector apart from the hospital where he works? And you too want to repeat the same thing in your own life. I don't know if you are getting my point here. You must live your life for relevance. God didn't call us to be non-entities on earth, only that we will make heaven and wear crowns. God called us to be relevant on this earth, and you must be able to see far. See, naturally already you are disadvantaged unless you can see far. I don't know if you are getting my point now. Naturally you are disadvantaged. Whose son are you? Whose daughter are you? Who knows your parent anywhere? Oh, the son of someone like Buhari enters a place now and says, my name is so and so Buhari. Say, which Buhari? Is the only one? I mean, when you go somewhere, you introduce yourself as, let's say, my name is Peter Obasanjo. You say, which Obasanjo? You say, the only one. They already know who you are. I don't know if you are getting my point. You introduce yourself. You say, my name is so and so. You now ask Clinton at the back. You say, which Clinton? The only one. They know who you are. But if you get on and say, my name is Temilolu Aliu, they say, which Aliu? Who brought me to say the only, which only one? I don't know if you are getting my point here. These people have made a name that their children can stand on. You don't have a name you can stand on. The only thing I can stand on is say, I'm from Alaroko Royal Dynasty. Who knows Alaroko anywhere? Apart from my village. I don't know if you get my point. Apart from my village, who knows that there's a royal stool called Alaroko anywhere? So if I go anywhere and say I'm a prince, they look at me and say, Prince? From where? I don't know if you are getting my point. But if you come and say, my name is Prince Harry, say, which Prince Harry? From Britain. There is a reputation. There is a name. But listen, people labor to get that name. Some people are coming, they don't know the labor behind that name came about. They are just enjoying the name. Now, the issue is this. If those people don't have the heart to keep that name, when the real owner of the name goes, that name will go. Just like Abiola. Who knows Abiola's family today? When the man was alive, he was a very popular man. But who knows any Abiola today? Nobody. Because there was nobody that could maintain the name. And that was what some people saw and revolted. Some saw the way their families were. They said, listen, I cannot be poor. They've seen poverty firsthand. And that was what made some of them to do everything they could to make money, including some of your parents, so that you can have a comfortable life. Now they are broken through that barrier. Poverty is no longer an issue. You can have a comfortable life. Is that the same legacy you want to give to your own children? Won't you add something to it? I don't know if you are getting my point here. Will you not add something to it? Your parents saw that people that went to school had advantage, and they did everything. I must go to school. Even when they finish university at 35, they say I must go to school. They've given that legacy to you. There are some people here that graduating at 18, 19, 20. Now, is that the same legacy you want to give to your own children? You won't build on it. I don't know if you are getting my point here. Even those that did not go to school are struggling to make sure their own children go to school, because they want to give their children an advantage in life. So those people now, that it is their children's generation that is breaking the barrier of education, the same barrier your own parents broke, is it the same level you will be with them? Is that not going to be a shame? I don't know if you are listening to me. The question I'm trying to ask you is, what do you see? What do you see ahead of you? And I want your mind to begin to think wide. I want your eyes to begin to open up. Think 5 years time, who am I going to be? 5 years time, who am I going to be? People can be shouting against Fela Durotoye. Now I know he cannot win. He can't win. If you hear that he entered anywhere, is his room. You hear that Fela Durotoye has entered. He entered his room.
He can't win the election. But listen, one thing that I respect him for, he has a vision. Since I've heard of Fela Durotoye, and I think the first time I heard of Fela Durotoye would be 2010. I've always heard him say, I have a vision for Nigeria 2020. I've always heard him say that. Although he never mentioned I wanted to go into politics or whatever, but it is clear that that man has something in his mind for Nigeria in 2020. I think what has moved him to go into politics is the man looked and said, the way Nigeria is going, if we recycle these same people 2019, we forget it. Nothing good can come out of Nigeria. So he said, let me go around. I know he can't enter, like I said, but he has the power of a vision behind him. I don't know if you are getting my point here. What vision do you have? Some people say, I'm going to build an hospital one day. What year? Or until you put a date on it, you are not serious. Until you put a date. Listen, there must be something you are working with your life towards. There is a man, Dr. What's his name now? Abi Bolamitoye. See, that man, he finished medical school. He never worked for anybody one day in his life. He said right from when he was in medical school, he started reading books like The Richest Man in Babylon and all of those books. He said, and he told himself, I'm never going to work for anybody. Do you think such a person can succeed in medicine? That man owns big hospitals in Nigeria today. Some of the best hospitals, actually. There is one hospital, I've forgotten the name. It's a very popular hospital. He's the owner. I've forgotten the name. Many people don't know his name, but if you mention the hospital, you most likely will. He has a very big hospital in Lagos. He has in Ibadan. He has, even in UK, he has hospitals. And he never worked for anybody one day as a doctor. Can you believe someone can succeed in medical practice that way? You finish medical school and you go and start your own hospital like that. Is everybody told him he was crazy? But he knew what he wanted. He saw something. He captured the future. And he's living in it. I don't know if you are getting my point here. So you say you want to own an hospital. How are you going to do it? You say, let me just finish my school. First of all, and go and work. When I start working and money begin to come, I will think of when I will be those ones are people that do things by accident. They don't ever make it. Have you seen doctors that work with government for 20 years build a big hospital? Ask yourself. Have you seen any? What they do at best is build a clinic where they are making side income. Again, if you have made up your mind to limit your future, God will not permit you. Amen. You didn't say amen. Some of you have visions about gospel, about the gospel we preach across the world. I will be a great Christian. I want to carry anointing. Do you have a vision about life too? There are only few people that God will not permit to have a vision about life. It is those that He has called into full-time ministry. Even people that God has called into full-time ministry, they have vision about ministerial life. Are you getting my point now? But to begin to have bogus dreams and whatever, God does not permit people in full-time ministry to do that. Just keep following instruction and see what I make out of your life. That's why full-time call is I'm signing off. I'm putting myself in the hands of God totally. That's full-time call. But God has not called you full-time, and you are not trying to live the life of a full-time minister. Career-wise, no vision, no dream, nothing. That is not how to live life. So I want you to pause for 2 minutes and think within your heart, where will I be in 5 years' time? 5 years from now. This is 2018. By 2023, what will my life look like? Picture yourself. What will you be doing? Will you be working in an hospital? Will you be married? How many children? What kind of house will you be living in? I'm not telling you to begin to have wild fantasies that are unrealistic. I'm telling you to be real. Think. What you are thinking is, listen, it's not just what I wish. What you are thinking is, this is what I want to go and accomplish. This is what I will start working towards from today. Count when you will finish. Think 5 years, think 10 years, think 15 years. On those 3 levels. What will you be doing with your life at that time? What would have happened between now and then? What would have changed? If you are told to write a documentary for us to make a film today that will describe your life in 15 years time, can you do so? Ability to see far. Praise God. But listen, you must be able to pattern what your life is going to look like. This is what I am working towards. It is not this is what I dream. This is what I am working towards. You are in medical school. What are you working towards? Just to get this certificate and be a doctor. Is that what you are working towards? That's nonsense. What exactly are you working towards? What do you want to do with that certificate when you get it? That's how we know what you are saying. One thing about the eagle is that the vision of the eagle is about 8 times more than the vision of a man. 8 times. And while the vision of man is 180 degrees, you can only see straight and beside like this when you look with your eyes without turning your head. The eagle's field of vision is 340 degrees, almost 360. So if the eagle is looking like this, it can see almost as far as its back. You know how 360 degrees is? So it means it's only a very small portion of its back that it cannot see. Standing on one spot. So if you think you want to attack the eagle from behind, and you need eagle vision to be relevant on this earth. The question is, how many of you will develop eagle vision? And I think this is more important than the prophetic vision for this gathering. Many of you have been exposed to the prophetic already. But that aspect of dreaming big, seeing the big picture that you want to walk towards with your life, not everybody have seen it yet. The question is, what do you see? How are you walking towards it from now? If you are saying you see something and there is nothing you are doing towards it, then that's nonsense. You have not got any vision. How many of us are getting my point here? I taught that day from Revelation chapter 4 verse 6 to 7, talking about the creatures around the throne of God. Say one had the face of a man, one had the face of a lion, one had the face of an ox, and one had the face of an eagle. But what interests me most is the description of the eagles. What interests me most is the description of the eagles. Bible mentions that these creatures were full of eyes round about them. In fact, Bible said the creatures themselves were all eyes. And that is funny. How can a creature be all eyes? Ojulasan, all eyes. Revelation chapter 4 verse 6 and 8. Let someone read. I'm trying to challenge you today. To live a life that will count. Revelation chapter 4 verse 6 and 8. Revelations 4 6 and 8. Revelations 4 6 8.
Before the new KJV.
And
Before the throne there was a sea of glass like crystal, and And in the midst of the throne and around the throne were 4 living creatures full of eyes.
Look at this. Living creatures, how the Bible describe them? Full of eyes. Yes, continue.
The first living creature was like a lion. The second living
Read verse 8.
The 4 living creatures, each having 6 wings, were full of eyes around and within.
They were full of eyes around and within. The first one says they were full of eyes, eyes to look ahead, eyes to look behind, right? That's verse 6. Verse 8 now says eyes to look around and eyes to look within. Does anybody have Message translation? Read that place in Message translation for me. Verse 6 and 8.
Prowling around the throne were 4 animals, all eyes. Eyes to look ahead, eyes to look.
Look at this. 4 animals, all eyes. Listen, I'll get to you shortly. If you will make something important out of your future, you must be all eyes. All eyes. Your hand must become eyes. Your leg must become eyes that can see. I don't know if you are getting my point. That if you touch something like this, as you are feeling it, you are seeing beyond the now into the future. I don't know if you are getting my point. That if you step into a place, you are seeing beyond the now into the future. You must become all eyes. And what will be the function of these all eyes? What does Bible say about these creatures?
They were all eyes, seeing around and within, and they
verse 6.
Rolling around the throne were 4 animals. Eyes to look ahead, eyes to look behind.
Eyes to look ahead. That's number 1. Write it down. Eyes to look. Eyes to look.
Ahead.
Eyes to look.
Ahead.
Number 2.
Eyes to look behind.
Eyes to look behind. Go to verse 8 now.
They were all eyes, seeing around and within.
Seeing around. That's eyes to see around. Eyes to see within. I'm going to explain shortly. You can sit down, please. You know that these 4 functions of the eyes are divided into 2 categories. First category is the category of looking. Second category is the category of seeing. I want you to get my point. First category is the category of what? Looking. The first one says eyes to look ahead, eyes to look behind. Second category says eyes to see around. It didn't say eyes to look around. It said eyes to see around. It didn't say eyes to look within. It says eyes to see within. Those are 2 categories. Looking is intentional. Seeing is not intentional. Are you getting my point now? I saw you is different from I looked at you. Do you get the difference? If I say I saw you yesterday, it's different from I looked at you yesterday. That's why I tell people you don't go to see a film, you go to look at a film. It's bad grammar. I went to see a film. You can't see a film. It takes looking. You stay there and you keep looking. It's different from I saw. I don't know where they got the I saw a film from. Well, now listen. There is looking and there is seeing. I said looking is conscious. It is intentional. Seeing is not conscious. It is not intentional. It just happens. It means that the one that is intentional, that is conscious, you must consciously decide, I want to look. The one that is seeing, you must take away your consciousness from it and build yourself to be sensitive to see. Do we get the point here? Do we get the point here? Good. So when we are talking about the past and the future, you must look. When we are talking about your surroundings and yourself, you must see. Don't look. If you look around, you will be distracted. If you look within, you will be full of pride. If you look around, too much distractions, inferiority complex, many things that will distract you. If you look too much within, superiority complex, pride, and all of those things. Just see around, see within, but look ahead, look behind. I'm going to explain the first shortly. But I have to explain to you that there are two categories. There is the looking that is conscious. There is the seeing that is not conscious. One, you need decision. The other, you need decision and action. The other, you need sensitivity and sensibility. To look, you need decision and action. To see, you need sensitivity and what? Sensibility. Am I helping someone this afternoon? My goal is that by the time you leave here, you will be set for a great future. Amen. Don't mind that you may look small now. In fact, don't mind that the number here may be few. Partly because you people did not take responsibility of doing thorough mobilization. But forget about that. I believe that things of the Spirit do not happen by mistake. So the question is, what do you see? And what are you looking at? Let's start with eyes to look ahead. Eyes to look ahead. Let me put it this way. God has a purpose for your life. How many of you know that? How many of you know God has a purpose for your life? Good. How many of you also know that that purpose is useless until it becomes your vision? God does not have a vision for your life. God never has vision for anybody. God has a purpose for you. It is you that should have a vision. Are you getting my point now? What is vision? What is vision? The picture that you see. So until the purpose of God becomes your vision, that purpose is useless. That's why people have had a very difficult time explaining the difference between purpose and vision. It looks like they are used interchangeably because purpose is as it relates to God. The creature cannot have a purpose for itself. This man does not have a purpose for itself. It is the maker that has a purpose. So you don't have a purpose. It is God that has a purpose for you. So when we talk about your divine purpose, that's why we don't say your purpose. We put divine there, which means there is a divine being that has a purpose for you. Are you getting my point now? Until that purpose becomes your own vision, that purpose is useless. It cannot amount to anything until you can see it. I don't know if you get my explanation. So God has a purpose for your life. The purpose must become your vision. So I said the equation of destiny is this: God's purpose is equal to my vision. That's when destiny can be fulfilled. Until that becomes your equation, the equation of your life and destiny is not balanced. So if you want a balanced equation for life and destiny, God's purpose is equal to my vision. Until that happens, the equation of your life and destiny is not balanced. I don't know if you are getting the point here. How many people have followed me thus far? So the question is this: the vision that you see, is it in synchrony with the purpose of God for your life? If what you are seeing is divergent from God's purpose for your life, you are just joking. I don't know if you are getting my point here. So God's purpose must become your vision. Now, when you catch the vision, then you must be able to look properly into the future. Why? Listen. The vision has nothing to do with now. The vision has only to do with the future. I don't know if you are getting my point. The vision is like a picture. It's just like, how can I put it? If I bring the picture of that curtain to you, all you see is what? The curtain. But if you stand there and you look at the curtain, you see everything along the way. You know how far you have to go. You know what roads to navigate. You know the blind ends that you can't see yet. That when I get to this junction, I need to be careful. That is what looking does for you. Different from what a vision is. I don't know if you get my point here. That is what looking does for you. The problem with a lot of people is they catch a vision but they refuse to look. That's why that scripture says, I will stand upon my watch and see what he will say unto me. Now say, write the vision, make it plain. What he's saying is this: I will stand. Do you know what they call watch? The watchtower. The highest point possible, and I will look very well. I will see what he will say to me. What he will say to me is the vision. I don't know if you get my point now. But now I want to see the vision first. Standing upon my watch, looking from a vantage point, as it were. Now says, after that, write the vision. Make it plain. What he's saying is this: after that, begin to make plans step by step, that he may run. That is it. The problem with a lot of people is not that they don't catch visions. It is the nitty-gritty of the work. The looking from where you are. I've said it many times. Listen, any vision that is not in touch with reality is frustration. Say, what is your vision? I want to become a billionaire by next year. You'll be frustrated if you try to do it. Big time frustration. So whatever vision you are seeing, let it be what? Realistic. One thing about God, when God bids you to look at the future, it tells you to look from where you are. A genuine vision will not overlook current circumstances. It will overcome them. It will overcome them. If the vision is from God, it will not overlook your current circumstances. It will overcome your current circumstances. Your vision will not overlook the fact that you don't have money in your pocket. It will overcome that poverty and bring you out of it. I don't know if you are getting my point now. If you are a stammerer, your vision will not overlook the fact that you stammer. It will overcome the fact that you stammer. Visions overcome, they don't overlook. The problem with many people is when they catch a vision, they want to overlook their current circumstance. So I got a vision, it's from God, I will accomplish. That is not how visions work. You want to be a doctor and you cannot pass jam. You think they will overlook that and allow you to enter? That vision you have will overcome the fact that you can't pass jam and ensure that you eventually pass it. So if you don't have money in your pocket, your vision will not overlook the fact that you don't have money. It will overcome it. Are you getting my point, please? Just like when God spoke to Abraham, Genesis chapter 13 verse 14. God told Abraham, he said, look from the place where you are. Look from the place where you are. You must look from where you are. So in planning for your future, in thinking what is ahead, are you looking from where you are? I don't know if we are getting my point this evening. Look from where you are. Like I said, ask yourself, where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Where do I see myself in the next 10 years, the next 15 years? If I start from 6 months, where do you see yourself in the next 6 months? How much will you have in your bank account in the next 10 years? There are some things you should begin to plan for. How much will you have in your bank account in the next 10 years? How many children will you have in the next 20 years? Some don't even plan. As if it's them that God gave, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and fill the whole land. They just keep replenishing. You want to come? Are you the only person they gave the divine mandate? Plan your life. Before you start having children, have you planned how many children you will have? Have you planned how to sustain those children? If you are planning to have 5, have you started thinking? I give an advice to people. On the day you marry, you must open an account for all your children. Write it and don't ever forget it. The day, if you are not capable of opening an account for all your children, don't marry. On the day you marry, if you are planning to have 4, you must open 4 accounts for the 4 children and put money there every month. I'm not sure if the bank will allow you to register the name of someone that does not exist. So you can put it in your name. And put account 1, account 2, account 3, account 4. If you are planning to have 10, open 10. If you are planning to have 15, open 15. If you cannot do that, then don't go ahead and start and go and marry. Those children deserve to be prepared for. I don't know if you are getting my point here. If it is Filipinos that are here now, that told them, even if you can open a bank account, open GCash account, and be putting money there. I don't know if you are getting my point here. What vision do you see? You should not have children and you'll be running around to get school fees. You should have planned their lives. Some of you are not the one paying your school fees, but you know the heartache you have every time you see the amount of your school fees. Thinking about how they will send you from home, and thinking about all the complaints you will hear by the time you call, and all the advice you will hear by the time you mention the money. You know, Nigerian parents, by the time you mention the school fees, they automatically start advising you. Hey, remember how you left home? Oh, this money is not small. Make sure you read your book, and make sure you make me proud. Make sure you do this. Just because they are sending money. For you too, you understand, you are prepared for it. As you are asking for the money, you are ready for the advice. The question is, you want your own children to feel that way too? Or want your children to come home boldly and say, this is my school, and say, don't worry, I'll pay you tomorrow? I don't know if you are getting my point. You want to live that kind of life that will be telling your child, we are still gathering it to just school now. And you'll be telling your child, you know, we just pay school fees, so your allowance for now, only it may not be regular for some time, we'll just understand, you know, we just pay school fees. And really, you too, you understand, you know what I'm saying now? Sometimes even if you have your way, you will tell them not to send you any money for the next 2 years, because you know how much they paid for your fees. But you simply have no choice, you still have to disturb them for money. And as you are asking for the money, you are saying, Daddy, sorry. Sorry for what? Sorry for giving back to me. I don't know if you are getting my point. Do you want your own children to feel that way for you giving back to them? I'm not saying that these people are not trying. I'm telling you they are trying. They did their own bit in breaking a new legacy from the generations past. You know what I'm talking about? Many of your own grandparents didn't go to school. So at least your parents broke the barrier of going to school. So they've done something. And they are giving that legacy to you through sweat and tears. So you must bequeath a greater legacy to the next generation coming after you. I don't know if you are getting my point. Like Daddy Aliu said sometimes ago, he said he went to school on the mercies of people. One auntie will pay school fees. No, that's how he went to school. So he made up his mind that none of his children will go to any school free of charge or on scholarship. Said he will pay his own children's school fees by himself. When the children were in primary school, they offered them, pastor's children, maybe because he has blessed somebody. The person has, how much is your child's school fees? If I said there was a woman that had a school, and the minister to the woman said, please bring all your children to my school free of charge. He said, no, I've made up my mind. I will pay. I will pay. I want to give them that legacy. It was until when they entered secondary school that he allowed them to benefit from scholarships, and not all these what do they go, ramshackle scholarship, or bring your child to my school. I'll pay. How did God arrange the scholarship? The wife went to preach in Zaria, far away Zaria, and while she was going on her way to Zaria, God spoke to her. When you get there, you will meet a woman. She's a widow, a young woman in her 30s, a widow. Nobody is attending to her. She needs money to pay the child's school fees. He said, tell her that you will be responsible for the child's fee till he graduates, till he finishes university. Ha! So what kind of thing is this one now? And those were not the days when there was a telephone. She could not call her husband, and she's going to preach. She will go back home. So is it that she obeys God? Now she cannot get the permission of her husband to commit the family, full-time pastor, both of them, to pay the school fees of a widow's child. So she said she got there after preaching. She made the call. She said all the people that came out were old widows, around 40, 50, 60. She said no, not any of them here. And then after the meeting, the pastor of the church brought the lady to her, and the lady explained why she did not come out, and the pastor too felt sorry. Why? Because herself and her husband were attending the church. When the husband died, the pastor promised in front of the church that they will take over the family's finance and whatever, and they have not been doing anything. So the woman said she did not want to bring disgrace to the pastor and to the church. That's why she did not come out. She refused to come out because she did not want to disgrace her pastor. It was after the meeting she went and cried and met the pastor. Pastor, it is your face I saved, so take me to the woman of God. So the pastor took her, early 30s. The man said, don't worry, how much is your son's school fees? Come and hear the miserable amount, 200 naira. He was attending a government primary school. I mean, we are not talking about, what I'm talking about is I think around 2002. So 200 naira was not that much of a big money. So how much was 200 naira in 2002? 200 naira per, either per term or per whatever. 200 naira. She said, but the truth was, as full-time pastors, even the 200 naira, to remove it from their budget every month was something. It wasn't expensive, but it was something. So she said, when she was going back home, and like the daddy is, by the time she finished preaching, he did not tell her. He had arranged for someone to pick her up, take her to the airport in Zaria, and fly her to Lagos. And he was waiting at Lagos airport to carry her by himself to their home in Oshogbo. So he was waiting patiently to surprise her. So when she finished, somebody just came and said, oh, I want to take you somewhere before you start going and all of that. And they whisked her to the airport. Airport from Zaria, fly Lagos, got to Lagos. She saw the husband waiting in the car. She was very surprised. So you are the one that planned all this and whatever. So she entered the car. Now someone that just gave you a big surprise, she's now thinking of how to tell him that actually I went to make a promise that will sponsor. Now if it is just the 200 is okay, but to university, as she was thinking of how to talk, the man broke the silence and said, I have a testimony. He said, what was the testimony? Said at so time, somebody came and said God spoke to her to sponsor all her children to school. Any school they want to go to in the world. Any school. Any school. The person said, even if it is the most expensive school in the world, I will pay. So she asked, around what time did the person call? It was exactly the same time she made that call at the church in Zaria. She was there, actually, God spoke to me and I obeyed. So it was your obedience that brought the miracle. And their two children went to, how many of you know the school they call Life Fort? It's the second most expensive secondary school in Nigeria. They pay 2.1 million per term, secondary school. $2.1. What are they teaching? And the person paid. I remembered when the second daughter was in, I think SS2 or SS3. Daddy Aliu sent me to the school to drop some documents for the principal and all of that. With my large tie that time, large tie with big shirt and big trouser, I didn't know how to do better. So I got there, I got to the gate. The security man looked at the person standing, say, I said, I want to see the principal. I said, from where? I said, I'm from Reverend Olushola Areogun. He said, which? I said, I'm from Reverend. I came with a letter from him to give the principal. Now, they have taught me that time, never let a gate man send you back is an insult. And until today, I still operate by that rule. I don't allow a gate man to know for whatever reason. And it made a strong impression on me. Why? Because the day I heard that instruction was the day after it happened to me. And it was crazy, it was stupid. I had an issue with my SIM card, Globe card in Ibadan. And I went to Globe office. And I got to the gate and the gate man told me to go back. And I went back. Then the following day, a preacher was there and said, never in your life allow a gate man to send you back. I said, yay. So I went back there. Don't say I like trouble. So I got there. The gate man was asking me, like the other time. The gate man said, what did I come to do? What? So I started explaining to the gate man. And he said, no, they can't do that one here. Go, and I went. So the other day I got there again. As I said, what do you come? I said, I came to see the people inside. He said, for what? I said, it's your boss I came to look for, not you. Is it not your own job to open gate and search me? Am I with any weapon? I stayed there until he allowed me to enter. I said, I broke it. So that day when I got there, the gate man said, okay, I said, you don't know anything. I've been schooled. Gate man cannot turn me back. Then with a letter from Reverend Areogun. He said, can you call him? Let me speak with him. I said, you speak with you. Where you walk. So the man went inside and spoke to the receptionist. He said, we'll go and talk to the receptionist and whatever. By the time he talked to the receptionist and they mentioned the name, the receptionist told the principal. It was the principal that came out himself. I said, we are very sorry, sir. Sorry for the insult. I felt like a king. Loyola. I said Loyola. Life Fort, where they pay 2.1 million per term. They now receive me inside like a king. I went inside, sat down. Say, how is Reverend? How is? Say, oh, he's doing very fine. With my large tie, with my very large clothes. So he actually sent me to give you this letter, whatever. I said, please greet Reverend for us, and whatever. And I was looking at the school. Hey, if only I had this opportunity in my life. It was school. You enter some schools. You can't, but you will not know book. you will not know book. It's not possible. One more way. Any way you want to go around it, you will know it. You go to that kind of school and you fail jump. 2.1 million per term for 6 years. And that was how they got the miracle. When they finished. Because he insisted that none of his children will travel out of the country until after their first degree. The first son went to UI, the second one went to which school now? Bowen. Both of them are out of the country now. The first one has finished his master's, the second one is doing a master's. And it is the same person that is still paying. So wherever, anywhere they want to get to in life as per studies, she will sponsor. But the point is, when he was having the children, he decided, what I went through, I won't allow them to go through. I won't allow them to live at the mercies of anybody. Your own parents have broken some barriers, built some legacies. Will you build upon that legacy? Or all you will do with your life is just sustain the legacy. I don't know if you are getting my point here. I know professors in OAU, in UI. Because professors, they give them, especially in Ife, OAU. Once you become a professor, they give you a duplex. Abijoy, am I lying? When they become professors, they give them duplex, official quarters. Or you don't know. Once they become professors, they give them duplex, big duplex, official quarters. Do you know that most of those professors don't ever, with how much they are earning, they don't ever think of building their own house until 6 months to retirement. When they now start thinking, when I retire, where will I go? I'm not talking about 1 case, 2 cases. I've seen many of them. That it is about 6 months retirement. They will now start going. They will now start rushing one house to finish. They will now do housewarming plus retirement. At 65, 70. They've done well for them, bequeathed the legacy of education to them. Where have they taken that legacy to? Are you seeing beyond the now? Can you see further than now? What are you going to make out of your future? What are you going to make out of your life? Your parents have good cars, live in a good house. If that is the same vision you have for your life, you are a failure. You two, you just want to have a nice house, have good cars. No. That's not how you should live life. That is not how you should live life. There should be something more to life for you than that. Build on their legacy. How many of us have been blessed this evening? So I said a genuine vision does not overlook your current circumstances. It does what? It overcomes. Now there are 4 kinds of eyes, or 4 components of the eyes to look ahead. 4 components of the eyes to look ahead. 4 components of the eyes to look ahead. Number 1 is the eyes of the spirit. Number 2, the eyes of faith. Number 3, the eyes of hope. And then number 4, the eyes of wisdom. Did you get that? The eyes of the spirit, the eyes of faith, the eyes of hope, the eyes of wisdom. The eyes of the spirit is the one that sees the deep things of God for you. The eyes of the spirit is the one that catches a glimpse of the purpose of God when it becomes a vision in your own heart. That is the eyes of the spirit. No one knows what's the heart of man except the spirit of the man. Same way, no one knows what is in the heart of God except the spirit of God. But the spirit is the revealer of the deep things of God. It brings to us what is the depth of the heart of the Father, reveals it to us, but we can only see it through the eyes of the spirit. So you need the eyes of the spirit to catch a glimpse of the purpose of God for your life. But beyond that, you need the eyes of faith to believe that that thing is possible. Oh, a lot of people have the eyes of the spirit, but they lack the eyes of faith. They see what the future can hold, but they never believe it is possible. It never becomes a possibility to them. Do you get my point now? It is when it becomes possible that it becomes an intention. You can have a vision that never becomes an intention. You don't intend to pursue it. Because it never makes sense to you. It never looks real. It never looks possible. But when the vision becomes real, becomes possible, becomes achievable, when you can see with the eyes of faith that this thing can be done, that is when you begin to have the intention to do it. Intention is also different from decision. Decision is different from action. A lot of people have intentions. Faith backs intention. They have the faith, but the problem is they never make decisions. Some, they can decide from today till tomorrow. They never take action. Intention is, I want to do this thing. You know, there are times that you see some things and it excites you. Say, yes, I want to go for it. That is the eyes of the spirit plus the eyes of faith. Intention. But decision is, I will do it. I want to do it is different from I will do it. How many of us are getting my point? Let me give you a good example. How many will say, have you seen any girl before that I want to marry this girl? You see. Is it the same with I will marry this girl? Do you know the difference between the two now?
I know the difference.
Have you seen any that you say I will marry this one?
I don't understand why you say.
Okay, let me go to Taiwo. Have you seen any girl before that you told yourself, I want to marry this girl? Tell us, have you seen any that I want to? Maybe. Okay, now, have you seen any that you told yourself, I will marry this girl? But you've seen some that I want to. That is the difference between I want to and I will. There's intention, there is decision. When you make decision, you will go after her. Abi Philip. I will. It's different from I want to. That's the problem with a lot of Nigerians. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pilot. They've taught us how to have a lot of stupid intentions that never becomes a decision. And that's what's affecting a lot of us up till today. Intentions. How many of you wanted to be an aeronautical engineer or a pilot? Crazy dreams. I've always said it right from when I was small. Say, what do you want to become? I want to be a pastor. They slapped me, beat me. Say, pastor. Is pastor a job? Is pastor a job? How many pastors have you seen that don't have a good job? Beat me. Or today I'm there. And now that's the strength of the call of God. That's the strength of the call of God. I always knew I was a man of the calling. Even when I didn't know God, I was learning incantations. I knew I had to carry something. So you need the eyes of the spirit, you need the eyes of faith. But also you need the eyes of hope. Now, what's the difference between the eyes of faith and the eyes of hope? The eyes of hope is this: when everything comes down to zero, and you still see the light. A lot of people have faith, but they don't have hope. Faith is a thing of the spirit. That's why the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith gives substance to your hope. If you have faith, you have substance. If you don't have hope, there is nothing the faith will fuel. I don't know if you get my point. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So you must see with the eyes of hope that this is possible. Even when it doesn't look like it anymore. Everything is going up. Everything is sudden things are. Can you still see with the eyes of hope? And then finally, the fourth eyes with which you must look ahead is the eyes of hope. Wisdom. The eyes of wisdom is the one that will checkmate your zeal and your passion. Why? Because when you catch a vision and you have enough faith and hope, it can drive you really hard. Can drive you really hard. But you need the eyes of wisdom to balance that passion. A lot of people have zeal, have passion. What they lack? Wisdom. Wisdom. You carry anointing for deliverance. You now go about on the street looking for every madman to deliver. Oh, you lack wisdom. I don't know if you get my point now. You carry the calling to preach. You have passion to preach. You lack wisdom. You start going here, you enter a mosque where they are doing Allahu Akbar. Then you are going to hell, give your life, they will beat the hell out of you. Aliu. You need wisdom. You don't go to a mosque to start preaching to 50 Muslims. Except you had an instruction from God. Wisdom. Wisdom. Just like someone that one of my spiritual children, they gave a strange instruction. A fake prophet gave an instruction. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And when the person called me, I said, this is what happened though. One of the people in my family that I respect so much just took me there. And all of that and all of that. So what can we do now? So, and this is somebody I find it hard to say no to. And the person keeps asking me every day, hope you have carried out the instruction. Hope you have carried out, hope you have carried out the instruction. One of the instructions includes to do one stupid ritual with banana and Psalms. You read Psalm 1, you read Psalm Kinikon, read Psalm Kinikon. You hold 5 bananas and all of those nonsense. As a person kept disturbing me, and this is one person that is a major financier in the person's life. So it's difficult to tell the person I can't do it. I said, how exactly does this person ask? The person said, have you done what the prophet asked you to do? Said, so I'm standing as a prophet. I say, don't do it. So have you done what I asked you to do? Yes. So when they ask you, have you done what the prophet asked you to do? Say yes. The only difference is that their prophet is not your prophet. Your own prophet has spoken and you are doing what I asked you to do. When they ask you, have you done what the prophet asked you to do? Say yes. So about the Psalms, if you ask, have I read the Psalms? I say, don't worry, I will think about that one. And do you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? I have received understanding, wisdom of what to do. I'll just type either on Messenger or whatever. I will type the Psalm and send. Say, have you read the Psalm? Otika. So when they ask you, say, have you read the Psalm? Have you read the Psalm? Yoruba people have a say, wọ́n ní ọgbọ́n ìtàn láyé káwa lọ́run. Wisdom will not end on earth. You go and look for it in heaven. What if we are those that have zeal without wisdom? I tell the person I can't do it, and then say, okay, I will withdraw my finances from your life. Things cannot be done that way. Zeal with wisdom. Just like that pastor, I know the pastor. We had church convention in our church, and he wanted to take permission, but his boss will not give him permission. So he went to the boss. He said, sir, our eldest brother, the eldest in our family, just died. And our father has called for a family meeting. And I'm one of the major stakeholders in the house. And my father said, I must be there because they want to read his will. The man said, I'm so sorry for the loss, you can go. And when he told us the story, he said, pastor, you lie. I said, I didn't lie. Bible calls us the firstborn among the dead. So he's the firstborn of all the saints. So he's the firstborn in our family, and he just died about 2,000 years ago. And our father, the heavenly father, has called for a family meeting. I want to read his will, which is the Bible. And I'm one of the major stakeholders. He said, so I didn't lie. Did he lie? No, sir. Me, I covet that kind of wisdom, wherever I got that wisdom from, I can't imagine myself cooking that kind of. Wherever I got that wisdom from, I want that kind of wisdom too. How many of you want that kind of wisdom? And everything just followed and matched with the Bible, and that's wisdom. What if you went with and said, I know another pastor in the same ministry that the same thing happened to? He went to drop resignation letter. Which is your up to that thing happened about 6 years ago. Up to today, he still has no job. Zeal and wisdom. That's the difference. Oh, I remember this pastor that did that. It was when he was in camp. He went to meet the military commandant. They won't allow him. So he went to the man and told the story. The man even sent him with gifts to the family. So you need the eyes of what? Wisdom. So we are through with eyes to look ahead. I must begin to round up shortly so that we can have time to pray. We've finished with eyes to look ahead. The second is eyes to look behind. Eyes to look behind. There are two names we call the eyes to look behind. We call it hindsight and we call it retrospection. Eyes to look ahead, we call that one vision and foresight. Eyes to look behind, we call it hindsight and retrospection. There are four things that you need the eyes to look behind to see. Number one, your background. Number two, your history. Number three, your heritage. Number four, your legacies. Your background, your history, your heritage, and your legacies. When you read that Revelations 4, Bible talks about these creatures. It said they kept worshiping God day and night, day and night. And what were they saying? Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, the one who was, the one who is, the one who is to come. Listen, God is first the one who was before he is the one who is. If you don't know him as the God who was, you may not be able to relate with him as the God who is. Then he is the God who is to come. Everything starts from hindsight and retrospection. They knew he was the one who was because they could look behind. They knew he was the one who is because they could see around. They knew he is the one who is to come because they could look ahead. I don't know if you are getting my explanation. The mistake that Lot made was that he had the ability to see around. He didn't have the ability to look ahead. He didn't have the ability to look behind. You remember that story of Abraham, Genesis chapter 13, verse 14, where God told Abraham, look from where you are. I want to read some few verses before that, around verse 10, verse 11. The Bible said, and Lot looked around. And Lot looked around. He looked around and picked the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. That was his problem. He looked around. He did not look behind to remember that if not for Abraham, he would not even be there in the first place. It was Abraham that God spoke to. Abraham just took him along. He did not look behind. He did not look ahead to know that the land he was choosing is a land that was destined for doom and destruction. All he could do was to look around. That's why I said if all you can do is look around, you will make a lot of mistakes in life. Many distractions here and there. I said you need the eyes to look behind to know four things. Number one is what? Number one is what? Background. Your background. Your background tells you the things you need to build upon and the things you need to destroy. When you know your background, you know the things to improve on, you know the things to destroy, you know the things to maintain. Are you getting my point now? When you think about your background, and then your father is a big-time politician, you want to build on his political influence, right? When you think of your background and you know that your father married 24 wives, you know what to destroy in your own life already. Are you getting my point here? When you check your life and you know that your mother is very industrious, you want to build upon that. And when you check your life and you know that your mother is a... what name will we put now? Promiscuous. You know that is one thing to destroy. I don't know if you are getting my point. So check your background. What do you want to build upon? What do you want to destroy? You must make a mapping of your background. What is your family like? Where are you coming from? How many people have made a mapping of their family here? You know who is who in your family. This is who my father is. This is who my mother is. These are the things in their lives that are good. These are the things in their life that I must not allow in my own life. There are some of you, for example, maybe your mother is a very good woman, but she spends recklessly. And you too, you know it. She's a very good person, very respectful, very industrious, but the only issue is that the way she spends. Now, you cannot afford to replicate that in your own future. I don't know if you are getting my point now. For example, you have a father who is a very responsible man, very respectable man, but has 18 wives like some people. You know what to destroy. I don't know if you are getting my point here. For example, the example I gave, your father is a big time politician. You want to build on his political influence, but also he was a thief. He embezzled a lot of money. And you know that you cannot build upon that one, you have to destroy it. I don't know if you are getting my point here. So map your family, know what to build upon, know what to destroy. Know what to build upon, know what to destroy. Oh, your mother is a very, very caring mother and whatever, but she gave birth to you out of wedlock. Although your father is a very responsible man, he has about 1, 2, 3 children out of the marriage and all of that. Now, as a man growing up with that kind of background, you know what you want to destroy. I don't know if you are getting my point here. So you need the eyes to look behind to see your background, to know what to build upon, to know what to destroy. Your history equips you with experiences and exposures. You need the eyes to look behind, to remember your experiences in life and the things you have been exposed to. These two things will guide you in your future endeavors. That's why they always say once bitten, twice shy. You need the eyes to look behind. Some people are always bitten, never shy. That's why even Yoruba people have an adage, they say, which means that a war that has been announced long ago cannot kill a layman. But some people will now add, that is a layman that is wise. They be announcing, by June 27, there will be a war in this town. If you are a layman, should you not go out before the day? You now wait till the day of the war. Let's say, there's nobody to carry me there. Nobody to carry me. That is stupidity. A war that was pre-announced should not kill a layman if he is wise. Experiences and exposure will give you wisdom to handle future endeavors. How about your heritage? Your heritage tells you the things you can stand upon. There's a difference between what you will build upon and what you will stand upon. What you stand upon is like you are climbing the shoulders of a giant. You inherited it. For example, your father gave you a company. You didn't work for it. You just inherited it. You can stand from that point and continue life from there. Do you get my point now? You don't have to start from scratch. You just have to continue where the last generation stopped. So ask yourself, what is your heritage? What is that thing that you can pick up from where they left and run with? I don't know if you are getting my point here. For example, the heritage of someone that is entering ministry in 2018 in Philippines is different from the heritage of someone entering ministry 2018 in Nigeria, in Lagos. Someone entering ministry 2018. I'm talking of someone that just started ministry in 2018 in Nigeria. Has a lot of heritage. People have labored. There is a lot of faith and in the atmosphere. You can just pitch a tent one day, do a program, and 5,000 people will show up, and you run from there. Or you want to start preaching afresh in Philippines 2018. Your heritage is not as much as that. In Nigeria, if you go to do evangelism, average the people will listen to you. You know what I'm talking about? They will even want you to come back. Even if they are not going to accept your Jesus, they just want you to come and chat with them. Talk to them about this Jesus again. They will ask you questions and all of that. They just want this kind of God atmosphere. Oh yeah, in Philippines, mention God like this is like you have turned them off. I don't know if you are getting my point. So there is difference in heritage. You must be able to look back and know what heritage you are going to stand on. And finally, legacies. Legacies are those things that you guard jealously and that you perpetuate. You guard jealously and perpetuate. You ensure that they continue. That is legacy. You ensure that they continue. Must be able to look behind to see these things. When we come next week, I'm going to talk about the eyes to see around and eyes to see within. Talking about sensitivity, sensibility. And hopefully I'm going to get on the prophetic also. But this is my charge to you today. What vision have you seen? What do you want to make out of your future? What do you want to make out of your life? Where are you going? Where are you headed to in life? 5, 10, 15 years time, what will become of you? What will become of you? Will you die under the shadows of people that are mighty men on this earth? Or you will make your own mark? You will make your own mark. Will your story be different from that of your ancestors before you? Or you will start a new order in the spirit? Will you allow God to make something great out of your life? All you will do is just you are heavenly bound, aptly irrelevant. You must be relevant on this earth. I strongly believe that the end time battle on earth will not be fought majorly by men behind the pulpit. They will be fought by men that have accomplished something. The era has gone that men behind the pulpit are the ones fighting the major battles in the spirit. I tell you, because the last day battle is going to be a very intellectual battle. It will not be, listen, it was in those days that it was occultists that were wearing amulets and all those things that were fighting the wars. Now it is business executives that are doing the battle. Very intellectual people hiding behind the gap of technology. Professors, Supreme Court judges, those are people that are bringing the end time battles to your doorsteps. Business tycoons, politicians, intellectual battle. But the question is, when they bring this battle, where will you be? You will be in the corridors of a church shouting glory, hallelujah, and you are irrelevant when you get out into the world. And you'll be there shoulder to shoulder to say, listen, we are taking this fear for Jesus. When they want to make a stupid law, you are there in the Senate to say, listen, it's not going to happen. In the business world, you are there. The man of God said there are different kinds of tables in the world. Rooms rather in the world. And all those rooms, you must be relevant in all those rooms. All those rooms. You must be relevant in the sitting room. You must be relevant in the bedroom. You must be relevant in the boardroom. You must be relevant in the dining room. I think he mentioned about 5 rooms. And I added about 3 when I listened to it. Or you must be relevant in all the rooms in life. You must be relevant in the throne room. That is the one before God. Must be relevant in the war room. Different rooms where you must find relevance. But a lot of Christians can be relevant in the throne room, can be relevant in the war room, can be relevant in their bedroom, can be relevant in the sitting room. But when it comes to the boardroom, irrelevant. A lot of people even know how to be relevant in the classroom. If you are relevant in church and you are not relevant in school, what is your relevance? If they want to discuss major matters in school, and they mention and say, which one down? Put it down. Let's invite important people here to come and talk. It means you've not made your mark. But look beyond that point. I'm not saying that you have to be scoring the highest score in your class. Listen, you don't have to score the highest score to be relevant. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Just make your mark somewhere. I tell people, don't be everywhere. Just pitch your tent. Do it when I get to it. When I get to a place, I ask myself, I want to pitch my tent, and I know where I always pitch my tent. Anywhere I get to, there's everywhere I've gotten to in my life. I know how to pitch my tent because I know what my tent is. I don't struggle to fight anything with anybody. I just take my place spiritually. Before long, people are coming to meet me to pray for them, to seek counsel and all of that. Why? I've pitched my tent. That is where I belong. That is where God has called me to. If God has not called you to full-time ministry, if you are not a ministry material, find where your own mark is and begin to make it from now. If you say your mark is in the business world, what business are you doing that people are seeing now? When you become a great businessman, listen, people that know you now should not be surprised. If the way you are living your life, you are thinking you will be a great businessman, and when you get there, people that know you now will be surprised that you became a great businessman. You can't become a great businessman. I don't know if you are getting my point. People that know you now must know that there is a stuff inside you. Now, your life may not look like it. Everybody may mock you and criticize you. But when it eventually happens, people will say, he has always lived that life. I don't know if you get my point. Even those people that made their mark in business in their 50s and Kentucky Chicken and whatever, everyone knew that they had been entrepreneurs since they were small. They may not have hit the gusher before that point, but it was not a surprise when they eventually hit the gusher. I don't know if you get my point here. It's only in ministry that sometimes it may be permitted. But those that knew you as a young Christian must not be surprised when they see you as a man of God. Only those that knew you as a sinner should be surprised. You are a Christian now, and the way you are living your life, suddenly you just become a man of God, and everyone that has known you as a Christian has surprised. Bro George. People should not be surprised. They should see the stuff in you from now. I don't know if you are getting my point. You want to build a big hospital. Ask yourself, those that are in your class in medical school now, 15 years time, if they hear that you own a big hospital, will they be surprised? You know some of your classmates that if you hear that they own a big hospital 15 years time, it will shock you. This one. You know what I'm talking about. Ask yourself, is that how your life is before people? I don't know if you get my point here. Maybe let me paint a picture that you can relate to it. How many of you have heard of some of your colleagues that traveled abroad and you were surprised? This one. If your colleagues now hear that you are great in future, is that how they will react? Is that how they will react? If that is how they will react, you are messing up your life. Something must change. Something must change. Can't continue that way. How many of you followed me thus far? How many of you are willing to make decisions for your future today? I'm going to round off in a very soft manner. What I want you to do is, as you are seated, begin to think 6 months time, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Where do I see myself? What do I want to become? You see yourself pastor in a congregation. You see yourself. Now, where do I see myself? I see myself owning a very big company. I see myself. Where do you see yourself? Begin to picture in your heart. And I'm telling you to picture something you will begin to walk towards from now. I'm not saying you should picture something that will just be there in the figment of your imagination as a dream that you cannot fulfill. I'm saying you should picture something that you are willing to walk towards. Something that you believe God has placed on your heart. Something that you believe is in tandem, in synchrony with God's purpose for your life. Destiny is hanging upon you. You can't afford to mess up. So what do you see? You look into your future. What do you see? If you can teleport, or if you can transcend the realms of time and go 5 years ahead of now, what kind of future? Can you write a documentary of yourself 15 years time today? So sit down today, you begin to write a documentary about a man, about a woman, and that is the description of what you will be in 15 years time. Can you do that? I'm asking you to begin to picture that future. Look ahead. Look ahead. As you are doing that, begin to remember your heritage. Begin to remember your history. Begin to remember your background. Begin to remember your legacy. Begin to pull down things that should not follow you into the future. Decide the things you are going to build upon. Going to have 5 series like this. And listen, it is my goal that by the end of this series, you are going to come out pure, ready for a great future, ready to shine forth and manifest the glory of God on this earth. I give you 1 more minute to look with the eyes of the eagle. Look ahead, look behind, make decisions. It's like you're having a ratification of your life, your entire life from now. Think deep. Look through the eyes of the Spirit. Look through the eyes of faith. Look through the eyes of hope. Look through the eyes of wisdom. What does the future hold for you? And as I round off, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get a sheet of paper. After you have written down, I'm going to collect it from you and pray. I want to collect it from you and pray. In 5 years' time, what do you see? Where do you see yourself? I want you to write 3, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. 5 years, 10 years. In those 3 orders. I'll give you time to write. Write a brief description of what your life should look like. Don't write anything vague. I want you to write things concise. Something you are going to walk towards from now. What do you see yourself becoming? What do you see yourself achieving? Where do you see yourself stand? What do you see yourself doing? Limbra Masayanda, Likoski Pato Librekizo Yedia, Rapapa Gata Labra Masunde, Ede to Libra Musa, Jizo Kapate, Igata Uzi, Mababalandro Mosco, Potombregede Ancoliapa, Gelasto, Bradu Kala Probozuya, Leko Papaidea, La Parisco Potuzilaswa, Jababa Rokoto Koto Pregede Gadobadi, Ola Masha, Ola Karando Zuzaba. Jibrazuzeke protozuzekri kotosuza di promoto jita ta yakatakata boto pashidoye apra tola siza brada zoske pataya jipa babu dika zuze leprobosko pali brada oli kopo bredi za zandro bokoso sota yagadabaya. Father, we thank you. Father, we give you praise and we give you glory. Thank you for your word that you have sent. Thank you for the hearts of people that you have opened up. Thank you for the vision that's on their heart. Thank you for the great plans that you have ahead of them for their future. Lord, you have asked your children to look through the eyes of the Spirit and with the eyes of faith to the future that lies ahead. And I stand as appointed in the Spirit. I bring all these things before you as they have written. I ask that in your power you grant them grace to accomplish, grace to become. This will not just be words on paper, it will become tangible realities in their future. As that this becomes a timetable before heaven, as that angels of this calling be assigned to see to it, even when it looks like it's not going to happen. Release angels of this calling by divine orchestration to make it happen. In the name of Jesus. Oh, blessed be your name, King of glory. In these visions we will rejoice. In these visions we will rejoice. In these visions we will rejoice. Because they will doubtless become tangible realities. Thank you, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Praise the Lord. We are going to share the grace shortly. After we share the grace, so that people will go on time, just bring the offering basket. After we share the grace, people will drop the offering directly in front, and then we can go. Father, we thank you. We give you praise for today. Thank you for your word you have released to us. Thank you for our eyes that you have opened. Thank you for the future that's ahead of us. Thank you because doubtless the future will be great. Thank you for counting us worthy to be partakers of this word tonight. Oh, let your name and your name alone be glorified. And Lord, we ask that you accept our offerings as a token of appreciation from us to you. We ask that these 5 Sundays of glory will indeed bring out your glory in our lives, will indeed light us up to shine forth your glory on the earth. Thank you, Heavenly Father. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Let's share the grace together in fellowship. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Praise the Lord.